the fibre, all the stuff that's really good for you, throw away in the bin. And you buy fruit by weight, so you're throwing away your money as well. With this machine, everything goes in, there's no waste. So even in a Vitamix, if you put the whole apple in, it wouldn't be able to break it down. So
you're talking about a Vitamix juicer?
Or blender, or a KitchenAid blender, because we have people next to us who have tried to copy this exact demonstration in places like John Lewis, especially with the ice cream, and it doesn't work. Now ginger, the best part is under the skin, so if you peel that, you lose it, and again, juicing it, you lose it as well. Got some lemon going in with the zest. So everything's a lot easier, you can just chuck it in.
When we talk about juices, we are mainly talking about cold press juicing, which actually wastes very little. You're throwing away the pulp, I know.
Yeah.
But the pulp is actually very dry, so it doesn't mean the same to us as if you were talking about a centrifugal juicer where the pulp is much wetter and you're throwing away a lot of juices.
Well, I suppose the cold press ones get more juice out.
Very much more.
But still, the pulp is still, there is going to be fibre there, which here obviously you get.
I agree. Yeah.
Does anyone eat banana skin?
Every day.
Really?
No.
Okay, so we'll leave the skin out for you then. Did you know there's only one animal in the world that kills bananas? Do you know what it is?
Humans.
No, sorry, it doesn't peel bananas. I'm saying it all wrong. It's an elephant, so they can't peel it. Pineapple.
They'll not get the monkeys to do it for them.
Get the monkeys to do it for them, exactly. Get off the stairs, you're wasting over there. Look at that gold. So with the pineapple as well, we take the skin off, and to be honest, not everybody does take the skin off. A guy who works with us, he leaves the skin on.
So why are you taking it off?
Because his smoothie tastes disgusting, and I don't think he notices people's faces as they're eating it. They're going, that taste. We put the core in though. The core is it's got bromelain in it, so natural anti-inflammatory. We put that in there as well. And then what else am I doing here? Has anyone had a green smoothie before?
Yep.
Spinach.
Yeah, spinach. We normally put kale in here as well, but I couldn't find any kale in my contention. Most blenders, if you blend things like kale, it doesn't go smooth. It's very fibrous, and if you juice a whole bag of kale, you don't get hardly anything out of it. So the point of this is you can put in vegetables, kale, stuff like that. And then the final thing that we put in here is going to be ice. Now, the more fibre you have, the more liquid you need. Obviously, it's the whole thing. So I'll say that a negative of this machine, if you wanted to make carrot juice or apple juice, just by putting carrots or apples in there, it's really hard. It's just going to be so thick. I always say add 1 carrot, 1 apple, a bit of water, lemon, ginger or something, and then it's fine. So ice. Now, the reason we use ice, it's, in all honesty, it's partly to show the power of the machine, but also, if you leave it on, you've got so much stuff in it, you leave it on too long, you haven't got cold fruit or cold water in there, it's going to start to heat slightly. And you don't want to damage anything with the nutrients in there. So another reason.
When you say, sorry Dan, when you say damage anything, you mean lose any of the goodness?
Lose any of the goodness, yeah, through heating, yeah. Okay, so that's the ice. Now the main reason perhaps, excuse me, is that ice is the biggest destroyer of blenders. It blunts the blades, it burns the motor out. It's not a problem in here. It's a 2 horsepower motor, and everything about it is protected. So on high, it's got a cooling system, so it's going to cool it down obviously. This bit here is a sacrifice part, so if you make the ice cream and you overloaded it, this would actually pop off. Not as dramatic as that sounds, but it would come off. And then if, say when I was making the ice cream earlier on, I put too much fruit in, there's a little trip switch on the bottom there which would also pop out, and it will cut the machine out. So a lot of machines, you overload it like that, it cuts out and it will break it because the motor will burn out. This will protect itself. So one of the biggest problems, especially when people make ice cream, is the machine turns off, they think it's broken, they call up and they try to send it back, but all they have to do is turn it upside down and push that button back in. So, and the main thing, I'd say it's not like the back of a knife, but the blades aren't sharp. They've got a slight edge, but they're not sharp. It just relies on that 2 horsepower motor to break everything down. So we get the lid on. Break your table, normally hammer this down.
Kicks into play.
So it is really easy to use. There's just 2 buttons, 1 dial. Vitamix's competitor is something like Blendtec, which has loads of digital dials and different functions like that. So you've got on and off, 1 to 10 variable speed there, and this is high. When it's on high, it overrides the variable speed. And then on number 1, it works like a food processor. I have to be honest that it's amazing at soups, smoothies, ice creams, like that. I think as a food processor, it is a little bit basic. Like it's very rough. Don't send these videos to clients. It's very rough chop. Like some people say you grate cheese, mince meat. You don't grate cheese. It's kind of roughly chopping. You can chop onions. You can make coleslaw. You can make burgers. I've made burgers in here. You can make meatballs. On 2 or 3, you can do things like guacamole, hummus, salsa, pesto, mayonnaise. You can actually make mayonnaise on 3 and then put the cabbage, carrot, onion in. Use your stick, and then you get coleslaw out. Now, number 4 or 5, if you put peanuts in, it's so powerful it can go around at slow speed. It releases the oils to get peanut butter out. You don't have to add oil to it, which makes it healthier. Do you have Whole Foods around here? The supermarket, they sell that stuff for like sort of £5 for a little tub because they're doing it healthy. You can do it at home. And then the faster it goes, that's the more powerful it is. Breadcrumbs from 6 or 7 on high. Obviously overrides that. That's where you can grind coffee, you can grind rice into rice flour. This is where Vitamix really sort of beats its competitors, grinding down like things like sugars and nutmeg, cinnamon, coffee. It will go completely fine. And then the tamper stick, you use this to push everything onto the blades. So it gets caught up on there, so it's never going to hit the lid. Never going to hit the blade, sorry. A lot of people blend that up because they don't use their lid when they push stuff down. And even on the slowest speed, you can push whole fruit ice onto the blades. It's not a problem, it keeps turning. Someone should film your face and say something.
Sorry.
It goes right down, not a problem. And a lot of machines, the blade will turn, you can burn the motor out, crack the container above the blade. The faster it goes, the easier it is. See? Now that's half speed. It's going to be, if it's just like things like orange, pineapple, grapes, cucumber, it takes 30 seconds. Because you've got all the lumps in there, the whole apple, all the skin, it does take about a minute and a half, so I'm going to have to let that run, and it is so noisy. What are we going to do for a minute? We're going to have to look at it. So, 1 to 10,